Title: At my ex-wife's wedding reception, her new family surrounded me. "Why are you even here?" her brother sneered. "She's moved on to a real man." They all laughed and pointed. But my 8-year-old son suddenly grabbed my sleeve. "Dad, we need to go now. Something bad is going to happen. Trust me, Daddy." I nodded and started heading for the exit. Then, suddenly, it happened. Chapter 1. The invitation I should have ignored. I wasn't supposed to be here. The only reason I'd shown up to my ex-wife's wedding reception was because of our son, Liam. He had been asked to be the ring security boy, and despite everything between his mother and me, he wanted me to see him in his little black suit and sunglasses. The venue was a luxury banquet hall, chandeliers sparkling, a string quartet in the corner, and servers gliding between tables with champagne flutes. I kept to the back, hands in my pockets, trying to blend in. That's when they came. Her new family, the groom's brother, cousins, even the father, all circling like vultures. "Why are you even here?" her brother sneered, loud enough for nearby guests to turn their heads. "She's moved on to a real man," another cousin added, smirking. Then came the laughter, mocking, sharp, designed to cut deep. I stayed silent. Years of swallowing my pride had taught me that sometimes words were wasted on people who didn't want to hear them. Then I felt a small hand tug on my sleeve. It was Liam. His face was pale, his eyes darting toward the far side of the hall. "Dad, we need to go now," he whispered urgently. "Why? What's wrong?" I asked, bending down. He swallowed hard. "Something bad is going to happen. Trust me, Daddy." The conviction in his voice sent a chill through me. I nodded, my instincts screaming. I took his hand, started toward the exit. And then, it happened. Chapter 2. The Shatter. We were halfway to the glass doors when it hit, a deafening crack. For a split second, the entire reception froze, then another crack, and the sound of glass exploding overhead as the huge chandelier above the main table came crashing down. Screams filled the hall. Guests dove under tables, champagne flutes smashing against the marble floor. The chandelier's impact shook the room, sending silverware clattering and the quartet scrambling for cover. I turned just in time to see the twisted mass of crystal and metal lying exactly where the bridal party had been sitting moments earlier. Except, my ex-wife and her new husband were still there. Blood. Broken glass. The groom clutching his arm. His white suit splattered red. My ex's perfect hair tangled with shards of crystal. Security rushed in, followed by a few men in dark suits who clearly weren't part of the catering staff. They moved with military precision, scanning the ceiling, checking exits. Beside me, Liam clung to my leg, eyes wide. "See, Daddy? I told you." Something in his voice wasn't just relief. It was knowing. And that's when I realized Liam hadn't guessed something bad would happen. He'd known. Chapter 3. Liam's Secret. Outside, the winter air bit at our faces as I pulled Liam away from the chaos. Sirens wailed in the distance. Police, ambulance, maybe even fire trucks. I crouched down to his level, gripping his shoulders. "Liam, how did you know that was going to happen?" He hesitated, chewing his lip the way he did when he was afraid to tell the truth. Then his voice came out in a whisper. "I heard them. Last night. Mom, her new husband, and some man I didn't know. They were in the kitchen. I was supposed to be asleep, but I got thirsty, so I went to get water. They were talking about how it would be poetic if you got hurt at the wedding." My heart froze. "Me? What do you mean?" Liam's eyes watered. "They said they paid someone to make the lights fall during the toast, but they didn't know where you'd be sitting. And Mom's husband said, 'Doesn't matter. If he's not there, maybe someone else will take the fall.'" I felt the blood drain from my face. They hadn't just been mocking me earlier. They'd been making sure I was in place. A slow, cold anger settled in my chest. I pulled Liam close. "You did the right thing, buddy. But now Daddy has to do the right thing too. In that moment, I knew I wasn't going to the police yet. This wasn't just going to be about justice. It was going to be about ending them. Chapter 4. Quiet moves. I dropped Liam off at my sister Claire's house before heading back toward the reception. Not to walk in, but to watch from a distance. Paramedics were loading my ex-wife onto a stretcher. She was wailing, not from injury, but from rage. Her new husband barked into his phone, pacing like a caged animal. The man in the dark suit from earlier stood beside them, scanning the crowd with the wariness of someone who had something to hide. I didn't need to get closer. I had enough to start. That night, I called an old friend, Marcus, ex-military, now working in private security. The kind of man who could find things the police wouldn't, or couldn't. Need a quiet job? I asked. Depends, he replied. Is it legal? Not even a little. A pause, then a low chuckle. Send me the names. While Marcus began digging, I played the long game. I stayed silent, didn't post on social media, didn't talk to mutual friends. I let them think I was either too scared or too humiliated to act. Meanwhile, Marcus uncovered everything. The groom's gambling debts, my ex-wife's offshore account in the Cayman Islands. The contractor they'd hired for the chandelier job, a washed-up stunt rigger with a rap sheet longer than my arm, and the most interesting piece, they'd used the groom's company funds to pay him. That last one was gold, because the groom's company wasn't just some small firm. It was a government contractor, the kind that couldn't afford even a whiff of scandal. Chapter 5. Setting the trap. The key to revenge is patience and the element of surprise. Marcus's intel was a gold mine, but I didn't want to just hand it to the police. I wanted them to destroy each other. Step 1 was planting seeds. I sent an anonymous package to the groom's company's compliance department, a neat little folder with copies of offshore wire transfers, casino surveillance stills, and an invoice from our chandelier contractor. The cover letter? Review immediately. Possible embezzlement and fraud involving government funds. Step 2. I went after my ex-wife directly. From a burner phone, I texted her a single photo, her Cayman account balance page. Underneath it, I typed, "I know everything. You'll be hearing from them soon." Step 3 was my favorite. Marcus arranged a chance meeting between the chandelier contractor and one of the groom's business rivals, a man who loved nothing more than watching others implode. A small payment and the promise of immunity, and our rigger was suddenly eager to talk. To everyone. By the time the wedding video went online, complete with the chandelier crash, local reporters were sniffing around. The contractor sang like a bird to cover his own skin, and his first line to the press was, "They paid me to make sure someone got hurt." The dominoes were falling exactly where I wanted them, and I was just getting started. Chapter 6. Public collapse. It started on a Tuesday morning. The groom's company's front doors were plastered with a giant under federal investigation notice. 2 unmarked SUVs idled out front. Inside, agents in windbreakers carted out boxes of files and hard drives. By noon, the story was everywhere. Local businessman under investigation for fraud, money laundering, with a blurry still image from the chandelier crash looping on every news channel. My ex-wife's face was in it, screaming, caught mid-fall, eyes wide with fear. She called me, blocked number, but I knew it was her from the tremble in her voice. "You did this. You think you're clever, but you've ruined everything." I stayed silent for a beat, then said, "No, you ruined everything. I just made sure everyone saw it." Her new husband was arrested a week later. She wasn't charged at first, but when investigators traced her Cayman account and found the missing funds, the cuffs went on. Meanwhile, I filed for full custody of Liam. With both of them facing felony charges, the court didn't just grant it. The judge said I was the only stable guardian in this child's life. The last time I saw her was in court, shackled, makeup gone, eyes hollow. She mouthed something at me. Maybe please, maybe sorry. I didn't respond, because in that moment I realized The real revenge wasn't the investigation, the headlines, or even the arrests. It was walking out of that courtroom hand in hand with my son, knowing she would never hurt us again. Epilogue. The lesson. Months later, life felt normal again. No whispered insults from her family, no pretending for appearances. Just me and Liam, rebuilding. We moved to a quieter neighborhood. I got him into a better school, one with a music program he loved. He started playing the guitar every evening on the porch, the same way I used to play for him when he was little. The case stayed in the news for a while. Her ex-husband took a plea deal, and she got 3 years for fraud and conspiracy. The night the verdict aired, I didn't feel the rush I thought I would. It wasn't victory, it was closure. One afternoon, Liam asked, "Dad, was it worth it? Doing all that?" I looked at him and said, "Son, sometimes revenge isn't about getting even. It's about making sure they can't hurt you or anyone else ever again." He nodded, strumming a soft chord. And for the first time in years, the air around us felt light. In the end, I didn't just win. I got my life back. I got my son back. And that was the sweetest revenge of all. Was this revenge perfectly justified? Tell us what you have think about this story in the comments below. Like the story. If you think this story is justified, share it with someone who needs this energy, and subscribe to Lauren's story for more jaw-dropping tales of betrayal and justice. Because here, every lie has its reckoning, and every betrayal finds its shadow. Stay sharp, stay strong, and stay tuned.